or my family, my husband, my children, they will always be like, "Mommy, what are you up to?
Okay.
What you want to do now? Are you going to?" Because after when I got my DMP, I did an online course with Harvard for 2 months, 3 months on organizational leadership. And before you get the certification, there is also steps that you must. It was really very, very rigorous. And I was like, now I know why. It's a big deal. So yes, doubted myself because I'm a human being.
Are you a business owner, an entrepreneur, an entertainer, or a professional that have a story to tell, or a product or service that you want to put out there for the world to see? Let's set up an exclusive interview between you and I. All I want you to do is to shoot me an email on info@oakannex.com. Let's project your brand, and you'll be glad you did. Thank you. Welcome to Oakannex Hangout. On today's episode, our guest is someone who has a wealth of experience and is very passionate about educating others and raising awareness about cardiovascular diseases. A mother of 3 amazing children, a wife, a lawyer, and lastly, a doctor of nursing practice, Dr. Kanene Oleka. Welcome to Oakannex Hangout.
Thank you.
Dr. Kanene, can you take us through your journey, how it all started and how we got to where we are today?
First of all, I would like to say thank you for having me. It's really an honor. I'm truly blessed. I'll start by thanking you for doing this as well as reaching out to people in our community. And this is something that is not common amongst us. It's a good initiative, and it gives us the platform to voice out and tell our little story. So for that, I say thank you.
Thank you.
How did I start? I'll just give you a little synopsis about how I started. It all started from the little girl raised by a venerable in an Anglican church, late Dr. Venerable A.M. Onaguchi, who was very passionate about education. Went to England, studied theology, raised the 4 of us. We lost our mom at a very young age, but he did a good job. He was very big in education, and he taught us that the only way is to know God and then be educated. So that passion was built in us. I recognized the passion that I have as a child to follow my father's footsteps. So my dad pushed it a little harder. I went to Federal Science College, Goja Cross River State at a very young age. Because of my academic excellence, I moved up a little higher. At the age 11, I was already in high school. By 15, I was in ASU studying chemical engineering. Age 15. Chemical engineering in Nigeria is 5 years course. So at 20, and I was already done. There was strike in Nigeria, and then I did my NYSC when I was 22. Started working in NNPC. I was there. I did my youth service there. I did my IT there in 1999. When in my 4th year, went back, did my NYSC, stayed there as a temporary staff until 2003. Got married 2004 to America. Started seeing consistency. I remember I said to my husband, if I go to work as a chemical engineer in Texas, I will be far away from home. So, I have passion for, also because of our past. I grew up with my grandmother somehow, and I had passion for the elderly. So when I went into nursing, I remember I started as a CNA, and I went into nursing, kind of went faster a little bit because, of course, with my education background, my result was already looked at and reviewed by World Education Services when I got here. SS County kind of knocked off some classes for me, so boom, 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 I was already and before I knew it, did my master's at work. I take my work very seriously, and before I knew it, here I am.
Okay, it's a quite interesting story. Okay, you are passionate about cardiovascular diseases. Can you take us through that route? What causes it? How people can take precautionary measures, how people can arm themselves, and why you chose a cardiovascular disease.
So I always bring some stuff from case in point. I always try to relate to things around for. That's one of the diseases that in our family we struggle a lot with cardiovascular disease. Members from our lineage had cardiovascular issues. So it kind of brought me home because I know that my father had a little bit of that, but it wasn't being talked about, or the awareness was not there. There's something called social determinant of health. You see the people in the rural areas, like the women, they suffer a lot, not having the ability or the money or the financial need that the financial help that they need to get the medication, or even the education for lifestyle changes, simple things that they can implement in their life to make them live a healthy life. The women, the population of the older women, I realized that kind of made it very passionate for me to try to drive that knowledge, especially in my area. So I started small. I'm very passionate about my family, where I came from, then my husband's place. So I started in my own little way to drive that message across to the rural areas, to the women, to explain to them basic things that they can do to prevent having cardiovascular issues.
Okay. So what are the causes? Because you find out people might still be, lifestyle that are encouraging it and they wouldn't know. So what are the likely causes so that they can make amends, live a healthier life, make corrections?
Like I mentioned before, genetics, number one, could be causative factors. Lifestyle changes that you can make will help and prevent you running into, say, for example, what could cause it if you drink a lot of alcohol, of course, excessive smoking, eating food that has unhealthy food, sedentary lifestyle, if you don't exercise, so many other things that could cause it. So those are the basic things that I would like to drive the education across to the women, so it could help them to prevent. Because right now, in the world we are today, you don't want to treat, you want to prevent.
Exactly. So what steps can they take to, for it not to, for someone that already has it, like managing it? What steps can they take?
Steps that they can take if you already have a health issue, and especially if you have a high blood pressure, for example, or you have to watch what you eat, you have to cut down on salt. Like when I did education back home during the Christmas period, I explained to them, I said, I don't eat salt, I barely use salt to cook, because salt makes you retain water. And high sodium is not good for the heart. You don't want to overwork the heart. Okay. The size of the heart is the size for everyone. So if, for example, if you weigh 240 pounds, your size of your heart is this size. You weigh 500 pounds, the size is this size. So you have to watch what you weigh. How do you watch your weight? Is by cutting down on what you eat. A lot of carbohydrates can make you and sitting in one place and not moving around, those basic things. Wake up in the morning, wake up slowly, get out of your bed slowly, drink water, exercise, watch your intakes. Those are the basic steps that you can take.
There was a training that I think on your social media handle, I saw that training. What was the training all about?
Exactly the same message. Where my husband's place, our kindred, we call Oakannex. In our meeting, we had like 50 women, like 45 of them. I educated them. I used the case in point, someone that everyone knew in our kindred as a case in point. I said, we want to prevent this from happening to all of us. So it could lead to worst case scenario stroke. Then you might be paralyzed and will not be able to do the basic things of daily living. We educated them on the things that they could do to prevent getting to that point. It was basic. I had someone check all their blood pressure, and I used the baselines of their blood pressure to speak to them. And some of them already started on medication. Some didn't even know that they had blood pressure issues, and they returned, and I followed up with them, took all their phone numbers, a couple of them that I really advised that they speak to see the doctor for follow-ups. I've spoken to them after that to make sure that they followed up.
So let's come back to you now. You are DMP nursing home. What is the day-to-day?
Oh my God.
What is it like?
It's hour by hour, not even day to day.
Okay.
I was just leaving a voice note. It's a 24-hour job. You are a nursing home administrator, you're licensed to host the building. So what it means is the Department of Health will tell you every decision is yours, is yours. The building belongs to you. As far as they're concerned, not the owners, it's your license number that runs the building. So you're responsible for everything. You're dealing with patients. The residents are, you call them residents. Their life depends on you, not even the nurses, not the people that work for you. I have almost 200 staff, but it's your decision. You're dealing with the age and the patients or the residents that you deal with, they have family, they have loved ones. You're accountable. Everything that happens. So it's not one day job. It's every day decision of the general plan, their well-being, their food, every single thing. It comes to my table on a daily basis, 24 hours. Sometimes I get calls 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I have to make a very big decision on one. It could be, if we are flooded, fire, or something big that you have to make a lifetime decision.
Wow.
So it's not a 1 hour job. It's 24 hours job.
Okay, you can see. I never knew before now.
Yes.
Now, shouldering such level of responsibility, how does that make you feel? Knowing that your decision can make or mar some people at a given point in time.
Like I shared in the past or earlier, my grandmother was my number one. She gave me a big name, Wankerendo. My native name means a child that created life for us. And my grandmother, who was the last of the 27 wives to pass away, my grandfather had 27 wives, was very, very dear to me. And I took care of her. I remember I used to leave the town and go to Achi and spend 2 months, no light, nothing. So I was very close to my grandmother. And so that love that I have for my grandmother is what I give to my residents. And I tell my staff, tomorrow we might end up like the residents, roll with us, your loved one, or even you ended up, because we have residents that were nurses or CNAs in the past. It could be us, right?
Yeah.
So do what you want to be done to you. You never know. So it makes me feel the burden is less because I feel like they belong to me. Sometimes I try not to be emotional because it's a thin line between being emotional and facing the real thing so that you can still remain professional at the same time. Don't be emotional. You can be. So because the emotions, sometimes if you are driven by emotions, sometimes the outcome might not be a little more personal than being professional. But it makes the burden a little less because to me, it's so I have to take care of it.
When you say calling,
yes.
Your background in engineering, how has it influenced what you're doing currently? Because previously you're an engineer.
Still an engineer.
2 different backgrounds. So how has it influenced?
I might even end up being a lawyer tomorrow.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it was my baseline. It built me to be very independent. Back in Nigeria, we used to visit all the physical plants. And I remember this as an engineer, or when I was doing my IT, because your IT is 1 semester. So for 6 months in 1999, I was in Abuja. I was privileged to be in one of the biggest offices in NNPC.
Okay.
And I remember then I had to come to work very early to call all the refineries and take all the numbers of the barrels and the stuff that each refinery produced. I'll call Warri, I'll call KD, I'll call Port, and I get all the data. Then it was just the beginning of spreadsheets, and then I'll put in the numbers of kerosene, this and that. So it built me to be independent. I have to come very early to do that. So I've been doing that at such age. I think I was 19 that. And you don't even know what people do. And now when I sit back and I ask myself, wow, you were privileged to be working on the second in command to Obaseki. Obaseki was then the GMD of NNPC. And I was working under the second. There are 3 men under Obaseki. And you were privileged to be in his office doing the clerical job as an IT. So it built me to already have the sense of responsibility at that age.
So you translated it into your current role?
Yes.
Okay, good. So for people that want to come into your line of duty, how can they transition?
I advise people all the time to know if you love what you do, and you want to transition into another line, first of all, you have to know yourself, identify who you are, your strengths, because everybody have their strengths and the weaknesses. Identify who you are. And then you can seek for advice on the path to follow, because there are so many other ways to do it. If you want to be an administrator in the nursing home, and let's say you are doing something else and you want to switch, there are steps that you have to follow. First of all, you have to find a preceptor that is willing to train you and spend the hour within the Department of Health or approve that when they approve that your preceptor, because your preceptor has to meet the criteria to train you as an administrator, and then from there you do the necessary paperwork. There are a few of us that in our community that are.
No, what I look like the qualifications, like the steps, because some people that might get access to this podcast, because you are there already, so you know how you're able to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
So to make it easier or simpler for them, can you just break it down, starting from maybe CNA, which I know is very common, someone that wants to transition from CNA to status, yeah.
So from CNA,
or
I will give you a case in point. My preceptor trained. It was me and one of the ladies that worked for Alaris that she trained us. And I remember she came in as a CNA, later started doing other stuff for the company. Criteria is, first of all, if you want to be an administrator, you have to have a degree. So, but then, even though she got the degree from her country and came to America and started working as a CNA, the next step was to apply. But for you to apply to the Department of Health that you want to be an administrator in the nursing home, you have to have a preceptor. Your preceptor must be a licensed nursing home administrator. And 1 is 5 years of experience, 3 years working in a nursing home. And of course, the main thing is that you hang your license. So if you work in a nursing home and you didn't hang your license as an administrator, they don't count that. So they will count, the Department of Health will count how many years or days. And within that 5 years, you must have hung your license in a building or in a facility for 3 years. They put all that together. You're in good standing. You met all your CUs, your license and everything, background check, everything. And then they put it together and then they will now approve. Then you'll be in a center. The maximum hours, I believe is 1,920 hours of precepting. So you have to be under someone for that long. It could take 2 years. It depends on how many hours you could cover. For mine, I did less because of my educational background. And because then I already worked in the nursing home. I was already the director of nursing at that time. With all that, they knocked out most of the hours. So within a couple of months, I was already done. Then you go and sit for the exam, for the licensing exam. And then before then, you also have to do the 100-hour course. You could go online and find out, where you can get that course done. After that, then you sit for the exam, pass, get the number, then you get a job.
That must be a very long route and time based on the hours that you're calling. Okay, it's okay. So let's deviate a little bit into you as a person. Because we have the habit of trying to capture the resilient and strength stories, because that's the bedrock on which this podcast is built. We try to unveil those strength and resilient stories. Going by your journey, how you started in Nigeria as an engineer, and where you are, because I won't say ending up, because I know you talked about navigating into law. So how has the journey been? Those challenging moments, the moments you doubted yourself, the moment you felt like giving up, coming from Nigeria to America with a different environment, different challenges, different exposure and all that. So how were you able to still maintain your tempo and achieving results?
First, I want to give God all the glory. Everything is God. And then secondly, my family, my husband, because I know people that struggle a lot, and if they want to achieve their dreams, there will always be a setback. But my family, my husband, my children, they'll always be like, "Mommy, what are you up to?
Okay.
What you want to do now? Are you going to?" Because when I got my DMP, I did an online course with Harvard for 2 months, 3 months on organizational leadership. And before you get the certification, there is also steps that you must It was really very, very rigorous. And I was like, I know why. It's a big deal. So yes, doubted myself because I'm a human being, struggles here and then. America is not easy. Raising children. My husband, always like, you don't buy food from outside, you must cook. I'm like, how can you expect me to cook? After running around and all this. But still, he always he pushes me and he believes that I can do better. He never, even sometimes this man don't want to pity me. No, you can do it. So he always will push me. And he's always there. So I'm very grateful. But yes, doubts here and there. But I've always, I was built to believe that nothing is impossible. So I always just, go down on my knees and say, Lord, why do you have to put me through this trial? Because I know I'm going to triumph. Why am I going through this? But then it always comes out good. So that's it.
You are someone I was going through your social media handle because I was really, really digging, You are someone, you are into life. Now, on the family front, you are there. On the work front, you are there. On the social front, you are there. So how do you commingle everything? Because you party hard.
I'm able to do all this. I'm also able to, I'll tell you something that, that's helped too. I built a lot of friendship at a very young age. And most of them are older than me. And I maintained my friendship. I don't play with my friends. Maintain my friendship. They call me Toto. That means a wise one. So yes, I maintained my friendship to the last. So now, when I came to the United States, I have a lot of friends, and I have very, very close friends. But I don't spend too much time running around other stuff. I hit the important stuff. I go to work. I speak to my friends when I have to. I get a lot of rest. You'd be surprised. Everyone, if you know me too well, I love to sleep. Okay. If I come back now, I do what I need to do. I go to bed very early. I can sleep at 6, 7, 8. I might wake up in the middle of the night because that's how we're built to pray. But that will not stop me. I can sleep anywhere. So I will party. I will sleep. I will go to school. I'll maintain my friendship. Times, like I was telling someone a few days ago, you have to create time. I might say, you know what, I have to return this call. So while I'm driving, I'm going to make this quick call because I'll never get to do it within the week. So I create the time, I create for everything. And then still, because I love life, I love to party, my husband will always carry me along. He knows that if he goes to that party without me, there'll be wahala. So yes.
You being able to handle those, because it's very rare. Some people, one department will be lagging behind. But in your own case, you manage everything and everything is moving fine. So I want to, what one thing about you that people don't know about?
Me?
Yes.
Transparent. What you see is what you get. That's really the truth. Sometimes people think a lot of people think, because I have a very strong personality, but my husband knows deep down but I think there also a lot of people do know that I'm deep down, I can be very, I say soft? I don't know. I really do. I'm very transparent. I don't know. I'm thinking, what is it that people don't know? I don't hide anything. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I really don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question for me because I don't hide anything about myself.
October 31st, 2018, you made one comment.
Mm-hmm.
And that comment was celebrating every day of your life. Make your workplace a fun place. Halloween makeup. October 31st, 2018.
Yes.
What was behind that statement? What made you?
There was one man. This is a common Igbo talk.
Okay.
But it resonated with me. There was one time my husband, I think it was around that 2018 or 2017, he went to a wake event at Bubble Tree. And it's a big place for wake. I don't remember his name, but I remember my husband came back and said that's his favorite saying, really good. It really resonated with me and the way the man passed away. So enjoy life. You never know. We pray to stay longer, but just enjoy every moment. It came from there because my husband remember saying, Jim came back and then he said he made that comment again. This guy always says this. And yes, that's true.
Okay. So let's go back to your big dream, the dialysis center that you talked about, helping people.
Yes.
So what's the situation? Is the dream still there?
It is. And I remember I've talked about this a lot of times, and I started talking. What made me? I started talking more. I have a very close friend of mine. Mom was on dialysis. May her soul rest in peace. And then we used to talk a lot about it. I remember back then, I think she used to pay for 150,000 naira or something like that every section, every other section. Like, this is so expensive. How can we make it better? So I used to tell her that I wish I have money. I wish I can be able to just open this, and I wish I can do this for people, to offset the bills. And I still have that dream. And what are the things that could shut down your heart, shut down your kidney? Cardiovascular diseases. All goes back to that.
The cardiovascular.
Yes. Because if your heart cannot be able to process oxygen, drive to all around your body, all other organs in your body will be compromised. They will be doing more work, compromise your kidney, your liver's function, and everything.
So in our community, because that is where we stand from, how do you see the sensitization? How has it been? Like the response from people? Are they positive?
Yes, they are. And because this is just a start, but I also need you to understand that even in America, just leave our Nigerian community, even in the United States as a whole, doing what I do now and having to still explain to families the basics of cardiovascular, basics of simple things that you think that people are aware of. And now we're setting up classes to re-educate or educate the families of our residents, our patients, to tell them that these and these are the expectations. When your loved one is discharged back to the community, you have to make sure they are in compliance with their treatment regimen, because now you know about this, you are educated more about the disease process, what they've been going through, so you can be able to assist so that they will stay on their and be compliant. So you would think that because the Americans already have access to healthcare and the information, that they are well versed, that they know these things. So you'd be surprised that they don't even know the basics. Then to come down to us.
Okay.
So then you'll see that we need a little more, because most of course, we are foreigners. So we need more education. So it's just the awareness, to keep driving the awareness and set up classes, educate people, and go from there. And people are receptive to education. The world is going more digital, and the need for us to tag along and follow up and meet up is there. Everyone wants to know, because if you have to be on the know, then that's how you can get better.
Okay. So what modes have you been applying for the awareness? Bodies that, you align with? Or is it just a self project that you're carrying alone? Or do you partner with other people?
So I started by myself, and what I hope to do is getting people around to help and join me in this journey. So it's a start. Rome was not built in a day.
Sure.
Hopefully, more awareness and collaboration.
Okay, good. So what one toughest decision have you made in your line of duty?
One toughest?
The toughest decision you've ever made in your career.
One of the toughest decisions would be to go against what other people believe that I should do at a particular time, and I went against it. And I succeeded to prove that, yes, I was right. But I might not be able to share.
No problem. So how did it make you feel when you were able to, convince them that you were right?
Very good.
Yeah, because ability to, stand alone and make a point.
Yes.
What advice do you have people, our audience, for this show? What one word do you have for them?
Take care of themselves.
Okay.
It's very important. Health is the new wealth. Take care of yourself. Find the ways, the simplest thing. Just waking up and checking your body. Don't feel right. What could it be? Why did I wake up and I just feel weak? The other day I woke up and I felt very weak, and I asked myself what. And then that night when I went to bed, I put two pillows under my legs. blood return was better. I woke up better. So what could you do? Start with the non-pharmacological. What is that? I didn't go taking medication. All I did was put my legs up with 2 pillows on that. What is it that you could do right now to make yourself feel better? So just listen to your body, take care of your body, take care of yourself.
Okay, let me go personal again. Sometime October last year, there was a celebration that shook the whole New Jersey. What was that celebration all about?
Yes, so we celebrated life. Like me already, I love life. My husband and I, we achieved our academic milestone. I got my DMP, he got his MP in psych, 20 years of marriage. Marriage, of course, we all know marriage is not easy, but thank God. And so we've always talked about doing something in a big way. And we said, you know what, we're going to go the whole 9 years. And I always tell women, your husband is the head and you have the neck. Mm-hmm. You have to make sure your neck is stiff. So at the end, from 11 to 2:30, it was just dancing.
Exactly, yeah.
There was no talk. Even my husband's nieces, they had this dance. They already planned to dance. They didn't meet time. And when they came to ask him, please, can they let out the dance and everything? Uncle, can you let us dance? He said, no. Dance. And that was what we wanted people to enjoy. Party, just dance, fun. Some people have not recovered from that day.
So you are a wife.
Yes.
You are a mother.
Yes.
How have you been doing the job? And you are a career woman too.
Yes.
Because this, is more synonymous with your line of career, divorce, rate of divorce. So how have you been able to, hold your home front tight and still progressing and growing with your husband?
I'm very, very submissive woman. And I'll tell you something it's not personal. Maybe people listen to it and think, a lot of people that know me, they will know that that's not a lie, because I'm going to say, I remember people, they came to me and said, oh, they spend you guys a lot of money. Do you know how much? I said, honestly, till this day, I didn't ask my husband how much we got. If it's $2, $1, I'm not aware. I don't care. People had fun. Some people couldn't believe it, but that's the truth. Till this day, I don't care. It was a good party.
Exactly.
People had fun.
Mm-hmm.
And not even asking him, he shared it. But I didn't have to ask or put my nose down. I said, I don't care. But then he willingly just told me, oh, this was what I said. I don't even remember the figure he told me now. But I know that, but that's, you have to have that mentality. It was not easy, trust me. At first I was like this, that. It will not work with my husband. Like the turtle they called me, I thought about it. When your marriage work, you have to calm down. And then, I don't bother my husband, and he doesn't bother me.
And that's the secret. On that note, we'll be wrapping up. I really enjoyed hanging out with you.
Thank you.
Hope in future we might have need to hang out again for us to know based on the cardiovascular disease awareness, because our people really need to be educated, mm-hmm. to know the dangers, mm-hmm. that it portrays, and how best they can deal with it and live a better life. Thank you so much, Dr. Hey.
Thank you.